Recently discharged military service members entering the civilian workforce often have trouble explaining the experience they gained while on active duty. They have the skills employers need, but they struggle with turning military jargon into resume-appropriate terms. As we continue our conversation on transferable skills, I'm joined by Jo Ikard from the Texas Veterans Commission. Thank you so much for coming by today, Jo. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Texas Veterans Commission and what do they offer?
Absolutely. Texas Veterans Commission is a state organization that provides a myriad of services to Texas veterans that have come out of the military service. Now, part of our mission is to make sure that we improve the lives of Texas veterans, and that's a mission that we take very seriously. And many of the programs that we offer ensures that veterans have the services that they need, things like disability claims. We have our education services. We also have employment services for veterans.
Okay, so why taking military experience and trying to transfer it into civilian terms, why does that seem so daunting?
It can be pretty daunting because of some of the unique occupational specialties that exist in the military, like, perhaps someone that operates a tank, you're not quite sure, well, how would that, how would your skills transfer from there? Or we have those that may, work with explosive ordnance and things like that. So some of the skills that they have, many don't realize how it is transferable to the civilian sector.
So can you give us some examples how you could translate their experience into something that they can use on their resume?
Absolutely, no problem. Like, let's say, for instance, we have someone that is perhaps did explosive ordnance, or someone that, I think I mentioned, they were perhaps a mechanic for a tank. Well, what we do is we actually have them to sit down with a veteran career advisor who are located in all of the different one-stop workforce centers throughout Texas. And we talk to that person, we do an initial assessment, and we determine what are their goals, what is it that they would like to do now. And then we look at the skills that they had when they were in the military, and we kind of convert that to civilian language, So let's just say that one of their specific requirements when they were a mechanic was that they had to ensure the safety of, the mechanics around them. They had to ensure the safety of the area that they were in. Well, we translate those skills and we say, well, that can transfer, perhaps to a, safety manager within the civilian sector where you had to do specific safety tasks. So that can transfer to a safety manager or a safety job within many different industries out in the civilian workforce.
Okay, interesting. So let's say somebody was a medic or a mechanic and they have all that experience, but they actually want to go into a completely different field. What advice do you have for them?
Oh, the advice that I would have for them, and that's one of the things that we covered during that initial assessment that I mentioned, because that happens to quite a few people that come out of the military. They determine that, that's not exactly what I would like to do. Right. So how do I redirect? And once we speak with them and we, one of the questions that I definitely ask people, on your perfect day, what would be your perfect and ideal job? And once I do that, you can kind of get an idea of kind of where they're headed, what they want to do. And then we look at the labor market and we determine, okay, is there a labor market for this, and what type of skills do you have versus the type of skills that you need for the occupation that you're looking at going into. And so should they choose occupational field that perhaps they may need a degree to go into, or they may just need additional training, then we look at what type of educational opportunities we have available for them that we can offer them and say, okay, perhaps, you need to go to school for a little while, or perhaps you need to do a training program to kind of get, in the right direction, or get the skills and the training that you need to take on this occupation.
So speaking of education, can they get college credit?
For their military service?
Yes.
Absolutely, because when you're in the military, when you first go in, you're actually all military personnel for their occupation. They attend a training school, and then some of them even attend training throughout their career. Well, those training schools actually do convert to military credit, to college credits. So, and most schools will do an assessment of the type of classes and courses that they took while they were in the military and determine the appropriate amount of college credit, apply the college credit, and then they just have to do the rest of the degree plan to get whatever type of certificate or degree that they're going for.
Wow, that's good to hear. Well, community groups can also play a role in helping veterans make connections and find meaningful work. Right here in Houston, Combined Arms has gathered several organizations under one umbrella. So let's take a look.
The routine, structure, and purpose of military life can be difficult to replicate as a civilian. Options exist to help veterans and service members find their first civilian job, pursue education, change or advance their careers, or start their own business. Everyone is at their best when they're fulfilled and connected to their new mission. Strong social connections enhance a military family's ability to solve problems in times of need. Through partnership, connection, and support, Combined Arms honors those who volunteered to serve our great nation. Combined Arms connects people faster. We provide the front door to a network of support that tears down barriers and stands alongside all members of the military-connected community during their life's transitions. With Combined Arms, the first year transition no longer needs to be the most challenging. The service of our veterans does not end when they leave the battlefield. They continue to serve our nation when they return home. With their unique stories and challenges, Combined Arms serves military families, special immigrant visas, active service members, veterans, and caregivers, channeling their unique ability to contribute to their communities. By harnessing the power of technology with a human touch, Combined Arms accelerates the connection to verified resources that expedite the path to leading healthy and purpose-driven lives. We believe in giving back to those who served. When we partner together, we can unleash the talent of the military community. That is the power of Combined Arms.
It's great to know resources like that exist to help veterans. Does the TVC also work with Combined Arms?
Absolutely. We are one of their host organizations that work with them. Also, we work with the other veteran service organizations that fall under their umbrella to ensure that we have the different services available to the veterans that we're seeing when we do their assessment and when they come into the workforce center. Because, you know, many of them may need some of the other organizations. So, yeah, we are very tight-knit and work very closely with Combined Arms.
Wonderful. Well, Jo, thank you so much for coming here today and enlightening us on what our veterans can do to get back into the workforce or even change their career.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.